What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now this one's kind of a little bit special. It's actually, I'm making this more so for a special friend of mine. He's been going through a lot of stuff lately. He's been actually going through a lot in the last 2 years, actually. So me and this individual, we started out just like he had some issues and I was trying my best to help him out. And then from his story and then us just like bonding and connecting, we became friends. He became a good friend, I would say. And the stuff that he's going through, it's, bro, if you're watching this, I'm making this video for you. And not just him, like anybody that's, you know, in his shoes or going through similar situations, because I can't relate to him fully, but to some aspects of things, I have been there. So that's why I'm making this video. And so this particular individual, he's a nice guy. He has a good heart, and I could tell, like, you know, he's really trying to better himself. There has been moments, there has been times where he came really close to giving up completely. And if I was in his position, I really don't know what I would have done. But him seeking out for help, him seeking out for guidance, that shows a lot of character. Him seeking out for help, that's a lot of respect I can give him. So, like, I understand that he's, you know, it's been 2 years since he's gotten intimate with the woman, and I feel for him because I didn't lose my my V card until I was like 19. And when I was in high school, when I was in middle school, I knew I wanted attention from women really badly. I knew I wanted the love from a woman, and I would just constantly always like fantasize about it. I would just like fantasize about it, like, yo, one day it's gonna happen, but I never really took any actions. I never really like went out there, try to talk to any woman like that. Like, I tried to do the look smacking stuff back then. I was watching some, you know, Alpha M or Teaching Men's Fashion. Like, if you know those OG self-improvement like YouTubers that would give you, like, you know, fashion advice and, you know, how to improve your looks and stuff. I would watch those guys and try to like improve my look, and which I did. I did have a glow up, like mild glow up, like when I was a teenager type of glow up in high school, because like I genuinely thought I was ugly and absolutely cooked when I was in middle school, because I had a lot of acne on my face, which I was super insecure about my face. I used to style my hair, like used to put a lot of gel, because I would be in a way like afraid of like having my hair like natural like this right now. Oh my god, I was so much into my own head. And then I would have so much acne that I would cover my face with like powder and stuff, or like sunscreen, hoping that people wouldn't see my red marks. But like people would see that, they would see these like, you know, white stuff on my face, and they'd be like, yo, they would make like, you know, all kinds of like crazy sexual like jokes and stuff. Like, I knew they were joking, but it's like that shit would it would hurt me from within. And then when I would go home, I would just like freaking jack off like crazy. Like, I would just isolate myself, play video games, eat junk food, and jack off like crazy to, you know, avoid feeling that pain that I would feel during school. And I couldn't talk about this stuff to my friends at that time, because my friends and I, like, we were cool because like we would play basketball, we'd talk about just like the NBA, like just stupid stuff that, you know, kids do. Like, that's it. But I would never talk to them in a deep way. There would be very few people that I would trust it to. But even them, later down the road, they ended up like just switching up on me and kind of like just drifted away, which is cool. Like, you know, life happens. But in high school, I did have a glow up. But even though I had a glow up, I was playing basketball. I was sort of like, not, I wasn't a popular athlete, but I was kind of known, but then not known by a lot of people because I was very low key and quiet. Like I would only be, I've always been an introvert. I've always just like only talked to people that I enjoyed being around. And so like, that really caused me a lot of opportunities from girls because I would see like, some girls checking me out, looking at me, but I didn't know how to make a move. I was too insecure. I was too shy, too nervous. I would still, I was on, like I was away from watching porn and all that stuff, but it would be on and off. Like I would be still like isolating myself and just doing that stuff, you know what I mean? And like, but I noticed that there was this one girl in my later into my high school years that it's a one or two girl that this was so long time ago, man. It's just crazy. Like there was one or two girls that I had my eyes on, and I would try to make something happen, but nothing really came from that. They weren't really that super into me. Like they would flirt a little bit, but like it's just like I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going through it at that time. Shit. But it wasn't until like, long story short, like after high school that I really started to like get on my self-improvement grind, really elevate my looks, the way I speak to people, communicate, started being a little bit more honest and straightforward. And then that's how I started getting even more attention from chicks. And then eventually I lost my V card when I was like 19 years old. But, to some that's pretty late. To some that's kind of early. You can take it as whatever you want to see it as. But I went through a huge portion of my life. Like in my early childhood, I received a lot of love from the feminine women in my family. They gave me a lot of love. But then I went through an isolation period in my adolescent years, mostly, and I just kind of like became a shell of myself. I thought I was just unlovable, undesirable, and I held myself back. But then as I started to work on myself in my later teens into going into my early 20s, things started changing. I started to open myself up, open my mind more, open my heart more, and then shit, even open down there. Now let me stop. But like, I allowed myself to express myself freely. And then when you give that sort of like open energy to the world has to respect that. They're gonna give that back to you. So when I let go of this deep desire for women, or like this deep connection, or deep like just this like need for validation, and what I'm saying, like for sex even, that's when the universe started making it happen. That's when God started making it happen for me. I started attracting women like crazy. Like, yeah, I have my moments. I go through, periods of like, no women in my life, whether it's I choose not to, or, just the timing just don't align. It happens. It happens to all the guys that get a lot of chicks. At some point, they're going to go through periods where there's just no women in their life. And that's fine. We all go through that. So, bro, I know you've had women in your life before. You and I, we talked about it. But because you went like, quite some time, long period of time without any like connection with women, you became a little bit like, you became more hurt. Like, I get it. You want it really badly. You want that love so badly, but it's that deep desire, this need for approval from them is the very thing that's holding you back. Because when you're trying to talk to them, when you're trying to even when you're saying just, hello, they can feel your energy. They can feel that you're being needy. If you're not being straightforward, they're gonna think like, oh, does he want something from me? Like, what's going on? Like, what does he want from me? It's like, but I know, like, you're trying your best, and keep doing that. Keep working on yourself. Do the best you can to elevate your overall game, like your your looks, your personality, and your energy. But that's the most important part, energy. And right now you do have a lot of blockages. So the more you work on, like, just facing your insecurities, your fears, and you start to forgive yourself for the stuff that you've been through, because we've all been through shit, we've all been through trauma. And when you start to, like, forgive yourself for those moments that you've had, those bad experiences, and you allow yourself, you open your heart for new experiences to come, you literally just open up your arms, allow the universe to hug you, like metaphorically speaking, but even literally. You can go out in nature as you're getting the sun, just like, just open up your chest, like let the sunlight hit your chest, and like just close your eyes and do a little bit of meditation, or even pray. And even that shit is really powerful. Do that stuff, you'll infinitely feel a lot better. And then when you walk up to a chick that you're interested in, you're trying to talk to, you're gonna be much more calm, grounded, and you're gonna be super relaxed. And then even when you do get to have that experience with the chick, you're gonna realize, like, it's really not all that it's cracked up to be. Like, it's great, don't get me wrong, it's one of the best feelings in the world, but it's just a feeling. It's an energy in motion. Like, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna feel good, and then everything else will default back to the way you've been normally live. Because it's not the end all be all, it's just part of life. And the sooner you're able to, like, really understand that, it's gonna help you out a lot. But that's a little bit of, like, what I had to say. Like, I'll probably make a deeper video about it, like, later on, but that's all I got for now. All right, take care. See y'all on the next one.